Hey guys, well, made our home. Here's the project we got. Here's what we need. We want this thing wider. We're looking down. Kind of see how she sits. I want to put tire chains. That'll be the next video right away. Gonna make some homemade ones. But anyways, I got my 3-inch spacers here, Bro-Tek. And their directions are they had an American flag and crap on it. And by God, they fooled me again. It's not American made. The directions gave it away. Chinese English. So that kind of figured out what we're doing. Here's what we got. Here's what you need. I got a couple bars to put the tire back on. Loctite. You get the spacer. Those 6. I'll show you this big chunk here. So, yeah, that's the spacer. You get 6 lugs on it. They're tapered. And it was kind of a trick figuring out what the hell's going on here, because you get 4 studs, you get 4 lock washers, and then you try to read the directions. So anyways, their holes to mount the spacer to the hub are tapered. So we're using their 4 tapered. Those are 3/4 inch head bolts. Then we will reuse those 2 studs. They're 6 and 3, or 9 and 3, Jesus. We're going to reuse those 2 studs. We're going to back those other bolts out. We're done, and since this is on the rim side, they use lock washers because it's flat, the rim. So we will be using these 4 new lock washers, reusing these 2 lock washers and nuts. So that'll give us our 6. But we will not be reusing the 4 bolts or those lock washers. Then, when we put this on, we will take 2 of these nuts off, use the tapered end with those 4 bolts, and we'll have our 6 tapered to put the hub or the spacer on the hub. Then we will take the other 4 nuts off here, turn them around. Well, obviously we'll have to put the tire on. We'll take them off, but then when we put them on, we're putting them flat side up against the rim with the lock washers. So if you can understand my Wisconsin English better than that Chinese English that comes with the directions, that's what's going on. So we got a 3/4 inch lug nut heads, and the others are they're 24 mil 15/16. To take these off, they have so you do on a 1/2 inch drive. It's a long way in there. Well, let's just say I got a 3/4 inch drive when I had my semi, so we got some pretty big artillery here to bust this stuff loose. I've already raised the tractor up. It's on jack stand on this side, and I got a little tension on the jack just in case. So got my torque wrench here. They say 150 foot-pounds torque on the bolts. I'll go halfway first, and then I'm not going to measure out 75 foot-pounds. We'll give her the German torque specs of Guten tight. And then a little bit of paint here. What I'm going to do with the paint and the brush, my frickin' paint stick, it would be preferred, but once we redo everything, you're going to have the studs facing out with the nuts. Just go on the back side, once you got it tight, just run a bead of paint in a line off the thread and the nut. And we'll do it on all of them. And it's just a quick reference to make sure they're staying tight. You know, you can retorque them later too, which I will, but you know, just run a dab of paint on it, make sure the paint's always lining up and they won't have loosened up. So, okay, let's get going. See where I can put that so you can see what I'm doing, and I'm still kind of out of the way. Let's get all my tools and stuff in the way here now. This part's the easy part. We're just gonna, because it's offset pretty good. So on a 1/2 inch, you're going to be using some pretty serious extensions. Or you can just get this one and not work so hard or reach so bad or whatever it is. Ooh, we won't go on that. And I just do the old star trick. Could have done this when it was on the ground, but yeah, we'll get her. Get some pretty good torque with a 3/4 inch drive. Ooh, stand up. There we go. Or a little tougher than the others. Okay, those we are getting rid of. We are not using anything from them except the lock washers. Or no, we got 4 lock. We're getting rid of everything. So the bolts facing in, we are getting rid of everything involved. We don't want the lock washers. We don't want the bolts. So take them off first. And then these on the studs, we will reuse the nuts. Yeah, I had that sitting on the other side a lot better. I should have left that top one. Oh well. I've got 10 fingers. I'm going to reuse this, the nut and the lock washer off this for the outside. Okay. Now the ever so gently walk out. There we go. Make sure you have a good bar or two to put these back on, because they are not light and you are not strong enough. My dogs aren't here yet, so I don't have to worry about these falling down on them, but I'm going to roll it out of the way for right now. I hope the hell they don't crush half the shop here. Alright. kick too many of this out of the way. So a year or two is sitting there just trying to go, on what the hell they had planned. I'll check her for proper fitment, and then she sits good and tight up against the hub. And it does. So, ready to rock and roll. Get her give her a good shot of the Loctite, and then it'll run down and around. So anyways, now we're going to take two of these guys off. And like I said, they're tapered to one side, so we're going to be putting the tapered side in to the hub to hold it on to match the tapered inside these. Slots here that we'll use our bolts or our studs with. Okay, so that's on. And no lock washers with the tapered. It's another way to keep everything straight. Get some paint there. And you will need the 15/16. You will need a deep weld on that. Or no, you don't. That's 3/4. That's why. Jesus, my mind isn't going. So 3/4 inch heads on these. And earlier I had my air gun out, but I thought, I'll do it all by hand. Now the two that are two studs are going to be 15/16, so you'll need the the long. You'll need a deep weld for these. Speaking of which, we might as well get them on. These are shorter, you won't need the deep weld on these, but once you get to these will all be the 15/16s. There's quite a bit of thread left. Pretty high lift on these though. She's got my jack stand stretched out pretty good, and you just get a little nervous when everything's sitting up high. But I left the bucket on. That add a little more stability. It's a pretty simple process once you figure out what the hell they're trying to tell you to do. It just you download the directions or go on their website and read them, and I did all that, and it was better than most. I'll give them that much at least. I won't totally slam them. But really excited to get going on them tire chains. Remind me I said that once I'm there. And again, once you're to the tightening stage, you're gonna, you know, start patterning it. We're just getting them all started here. I wasn't going to shoot the whole install, but after looking to find one, I didn't really see one for the L2501. Some of them, everything's a little different, so let's blaze a trail. And I'm probably doing everything ass backwards, but we should have her on. Okay. Oh, she's held up there tight. Now we can commence to take these on there. Do we need all this? No, we really don't. Okay, so it's 150 foot-pounds. I'm gonna set it right at that, but I'm not gonna. The first time we're just gonna kind of go around and just get them a little more. Oh, that's right. We got the two different sizes too. First go, I'm just gonna. Sure, you've all put tires and rims on and all that, so you just, and I'm hitting one. Two of them are going to be 5, 15, 16s. Just want to leave enough room to kind of work their, find their happy spot on there. Not to get my big head in the way of the camera. Okay, now we gotta call in the big artillery. Oh no, I can't use this guy on them. That's right, I gotta go. Let's see, was that where I was like, yeah. I was happy I had the one to fit in between here, because that's all you are just going to have enough to get your socket in there, and my 3/4 drive is too big to get in there. So we're just going to get those two little. Oh, did I have that adjusted? Okay, forgot to tighten it up here. Yeah. So now that they're all kind of tight, we can start with those two. There we go. Okay. And then more in. Oh, I gotta switch heads. Jesus. on there tighter now. Alright. Now, one more good one. I'll even stand up for this. Move there. Oh, okay, we're spinning the other tire maybe. Good. Want to triple check these because once the tire's on, she's all yours. Okay. So now let's spin all these off. Well, we're back. I didn't want to waste video just watching you, having you watch me unscrew 6 lug nuts and throw a tire on. That went on real easy. So anyways, now we're back. We got it on. So we're gonna go with the lock nuts all the way around, or lock washers, and I'll put the 2 on that were 6 and 3 with the other, with the stock ones. And now this is where, like I said, the directions were a little confusing. The nuts that they give you are tapered. That's because 2 of them we used to put on the spacer itself. But now that and those were tapered on the inside. So that's why we kept these out off the original tire to still put out here on the outside because they're flat. So the flats go out on the rim, the tapered go to the inside. So we had the 4 lug bolts that were tapered, and then we used 2 of these that these were going on the spacer. So just keep in mind the flats go out here on the flats, you know, on the rim, because the rim's flat here with the lock washers. It was confusing because the lock washers came in a package, in a bag with the bolts. So you got 4 lock washers and 4 bolts, and you just start thinking that they go together, and they don't. And remember, we're going the flat side now of these. We're going the flat towards the rim. And then that's all it's going to be, is tightening it down, taking her off the jack stands. I'm going to put some paint on right, you know, where these line up, just as a quick reference to see if they're loose, or if they loosen. Did the same on the inside. I have a paint stick. I don't know where that damn thing went, but so I used a whiter. I just used what I had, but those inside ones, they're the important ones to do. Or I mean, they're all important, but obviously if those are loose, you're taking your tire back off to get to the spacer to tighten them. So that's kind of the one that you wanna. That's why we put the Big Daddy on them. And did the old German torque stick specs Guten tight. But now you want to wiggle these babies to make sure you're not binding.
And then just kind of get what you can get while you're getting it. The top one don't look right yet. We'll use the others to, yeah, there's, when you get out here on the rim with these, there's a lot of thread left compared to what there was when you first got everything put on. And it's just like you tighten them, you just go around in a circle. Get them all good. Finger tight first. These top ones are really the ones you gotta keep an eye on, or you're working with a lot of weight. So you just don't, you'll know that when you're taking the tire on and off, it'll bind on those lugs pretty easily. That's there an hour. We got the, you keep gaining a little bit out of each one. Once you can't get any more, now we're pretty safe to say that we're, to the wrench time. I did put Loctite on these. And why did I do that? Because this ain't long enough extension. Oh, these are all the same size, so we're just going to use the Big Daddy. Because I'm thirsty and I'm done messing around. Well, I'm just going to I'm just using the weight of the wrench at first. Get that sucker where it is. Start torquing on that and it's not locked in. There we go. And you just, you've all done tires and rims, you just tune the, just kind of keep the same torque on them, and just slowly work your way to where they start tightening up, just skipping and zigzagging. They all start getting the same, then you can, say, stand on them a little. We're gonna just okay, and we're gonna put a little grease behind her. Gluten tight. Gluten tight. Gluten tight. and tight. Good tight. I think we're good. Tight. Oh, come on. Tight. Yeah. Okay. We pause it. We'll do the moment of truth here. Forgot my little paint thing. I got one of these tapered cheap things. Sprayed a little yellow into into the cap. And you're just gonna go and just kind of tap them so they leave a mark. Tapered ones are a lot easier. Probably can't see it too good, but I can. That's all that matters. It'll dry, and then if those lines, when you're looking at them, doing a little walk around, the lines don't line up. No one's coming loose. But I'll just get this off the jack stand here and show you what we got. Okay, so I will do a before and after here, but we are done. I have our little yellow lines marked. And here is the big wide rear end now. I mean, I love it already. You can see there's much more room. These were right up tight here. So I could put these on and I really couldn't have adjusted them too much out if I wanted to, because they would rub on there. But now, you know, got a little more play. Here's what we got going on the back side. I used a magic marker over here on to hit the studs. But yeah, so they're about 10 pounds a piece. So hey, you got a couple 20 pounds on there. So from the front, I guess where I always thought they looked so narrow was that the rear tire, the outside lined up with the front, and you know, I run good sized rear blade, bought a bigger snow blower, you know, I got that heavy rear 72-inch blade. That's the one that really makes me nervous because I have short, slopey areas, and that rear blade, it weighs quite a bit. But the reason I got that 37 72, it has the eyes for the hydraulics, but more importantly, I can offset that left to right 28 inches. Well, the thing weighs 640 pounds, and when you got something that heavy and then you offset it to one side and then you've got some slopes, you really got to be careful with what you're doing. But yeah, I took some pictures, so I'll show the before pictures. But yeah, I like it. It gives it a nice wider stance, and we'll just see what everything what it brings. And then we're already set for the next project. I had to finish this, because here we go. I even got a bag of clean ones there from my old semi. But I had made, these are my old semi truck chains, and I had made them to go around this, and that's when I found out I needed spacers. And then they didn't quite, they just barely made the corner here. So I'm going to do a bunch of screwing around with that, and I'm going to build me some homemade tire chains for this thing. But comments, questions, things, leave them. You know what to do. I appreciate you. Bye.